Hey there, all of you incredible, inspiring, brilliant group of supercharged D-bag ass-wiping maniacs. The Good Place is back. We are talking about the final season of The Good Place, and while we love our whole Soul Squad, this week we're focusing on our girl from Arizona in the episode titled, A Girl from Arizona. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzzTV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers! Welcome back to the AfterBuzz, the Good Place Aftershow. Everything is fine. You're in the good place. You're with us. I'm your host, Alana Jordan, and I am so excited because we got a brand new Soul Squad in the house, and it is a supercharged ladies edition. Starting over here to my left, Marielou Mandl.
Hello.
Who you guys have seen for years on AfterBuzz. Popcorn Talks, On the Fly Filmmaking, crushing it. Some of my favorite shows, Broad City. Even though this is the new Broad City that we got going on here. Always Sunny. Making everything a little bit sunnier for us, too. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
Very, very happy to have you. And I am extra excited because we have two brand new hosts. Not just for this show, but for AfterBuzz overall. Get a good look because you're going to be seeing a lot of these amazing ladies all over AfterBuzz. We got Shiksha Mahtani, which I love because it sounds like Tahani.
It does. I love that.
Thank you for joining us, Shiksha. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Let's do this.
And we're excited to have your voice, too, because you're also on The Voice after show as well.
That was clever. I love that.
And also very excited because Samantha Jacobs is joining us.
Hey everyone.
Yes, and you can even check her out right after this show, filling in for Jersey Shore as well.
Yeah, it's Jersey. So. Jersey, baby.
Jersey. I love that. Well, I have to say, there is no place I would rather be than right here talking about The Good Place with you ladies. So, just kind of talking about the episode overall. The first episode of the final season, the fourth and final season. What were your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, chapter 40. I'm so excited. And, it's like 4 seasons of a show. And sometimes, we like, oh, they could go on forever. I don't want my show to end, but it feels right. Like, we're going to have a solid wrap up to a show that we love.
I like that.
I personally also loved it. I just loved how there was almost a dynamic, like a shift with Kristen Bell now. Eleanor is now in charge, and Sean is not allowed to be a part of it. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I love the little romance between Chidi and Eleanor, so I was really anxious for this episode to actually launch to see how Chidi would react when he first got rebooted. So we have a lot to talk about. I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's dive right into it too. And also too, for everybody at home, be sure to stick around for the whole episode because not only will we be talking about this episode and breaking it down, giving all of our opinions and highlighting the key points, but we also got a little extra something special for you guys, too. At the end of the episode, we'll be sharing all of the news and gossip for the show, as well as giving our predictions about what we think is going to happen to wrap up the show. Oh, it's so crazy that it's ending. And we also even have a little special segment called For Your Reference, where we'll talk about some of the references on the show, because everybody knows I love a good pun, and this show is filled with them. Keep that rim shot ready, Ryan in the booth, because we're going to have a lot of them, I think. Now, kind of diving right into this episode, it jumps in right where the last season left off, where basically the setup is, okay, we know nobody can get into the good place because the world is just too complicated. So to simplify things, the judge has come up with this plan that the good place can create the world, but the bad place gets to pick 4 residents, and then based on this experiment, we're going to decide if people can actually become better or not. The problem being, the little wrench they had to throw into the mix was that Chidi's ex-girlfriend Simone was picked as one of the subjects. Chidi, knowing himself well enough to know, look, I'm going to get in my own head, I'm going to mess it up, wipe my memory. So this is where we start out. Michael has had a breakdown. He can't be the architect, so Eleanor has stepped in to play the role of the architect. Now, going right into this, we see Eleanor with Chidi, which, Samantha, as you mentioned...
I've been waiting. I'm so anxious. It was cute that she knew what he liked and made sure that those little things were there for him when he entered his new room with the books and the lamps. And so I appreciated that she had a part to like show like, hey, I care about you, even though he has no idea that she cares.
And I love too that his like superpower is that he can summon philosophy books like Thor, but it still hurts his hand even in a good place. It's like, how weak are you, Chidi? Come on, we've seen those abs. It can't be that weak.
It was also kind of heartbreaking though when he didn't remember her name. I was very upset at that moment just because this is the cutest romance on the show, and now he made this huge sacrifice and he doesn't even remember her name. It was, hopefully we get past that really quick.
That was rough. And then the whole thing where he's like, okay, so say it 3 times and I'll never forget, and there's just subtle like, well, maybe you will. Okay.
I have a feeling that she will. But like as anybody who's ever felt romantic towards anyone and then they like don't know you as much as you know them, it's like, oh, so real. But then when she walks in and everybody else is like, oh,
the whole
baby.
Soul Squad has become the Heart and Soul Squad at this point. I think that that's almost worse, though. Is like Tahani being so sweet, like, you did a brave thing and I must embrace you. And then Jason just like, my hands are cold, so I'll hug you too. But it's like, guys, we all know this is going to be rough. Don't make it even more weird. Like, ugh, stop.
I don't know. I appreciated that. It was like, hey, we're here to support you for your sacrifice together as a unit. So I appreciated it. I mean, I'm a Cancer though, so I'm very like in tune with my emotion. And so like that part of it, I was like, yeah, got it. I love this.
I loved seeing them as a unit though, just like you mentioned, and they were all just together as a whole, minus Chidi though. So hopefully he can join them again soon.
It is weird with this like semi-dismantled Soul Squad that we got going on right here. But I do love that we get this kind of breakdown, Michael trying to play it off where he's like, oof, I mean, cool, oof. Like, good save, Mike. But his big inspirational speech that's juxtaposed with the one that Sean's giving in the Bad Place. What did you guys think of this scene, of them going back and forth of this, like, this inspirational, let's all help each other out, and then the Bad Place just like, who could be worse than you? Maybe your mom, skid mark.
I loved it. I thought it was like, because it's game time, right? This is the final season. This humanity is on the line here, and it's good versus bad. It's everything's on the line. So it's their locker room pep talk. And then when Michael later was like, "Dead eyes, eat hearts, can't lose," which is like a Friday Night Lights reference. Like, I was like, yes, it's so game time. Let's do this.
I have to ask you guys, though, what do you think of the official theme song of The Bad Place that is revealed? Should we all have a little sing-along for everybody at home?
Yeah. Ready?
Okay.
1-800 cars for kids. 1-800 cars for kids.
I lost it. Thank you. Thank you.
That was the best.
That is the best part of The Good Place is our little sing-alongs. You're welcome, everybody. But yeah, I loved that the Cars for Kids song was the official Bad Place. Like, the little subtle things that they have in here are the things that are the funniest to me. Like, I cackled out loud at that scene. But this all, up until this point, was just to set up that now we are in Chapter 40. This is the beginning. This is where we're going, and we have our new residents that are being introduced. And kind of going through our list of residents, we get Linda Johansson, who seems to be this kind of dud, as Eleanor describes her, a blob of plain yogurt, which I also love, because I'm like, can we have more yogurt references in the show, please? Like, I don't think we have enough. But then the big twist is that this boring Linda, who just likes peppermints and occasionally likes to knit and doesn't like to fly too high, just likes to hover.
Just look at just listen to birds.
Listen to birds.
Just look at them.
God, I lost it too. Ted Danson's delivery is so good. Like, really, Linda? You don't even look at them? You just listen to the
And Eleanor wanting to be like the best architect Eleanor. She's like, let's go listen to birds.
Yeah,
She was really
do it.
trying. She was. She gave it her all.
She kind of makes me think of like the camp counselor that like gets roped in with like the kids that just want to eat paste, and she's like, well, it's almost a craft. We're trying.
That popcorn river.
Yes.
That was creative.
Pop. Literally popping up that popcorn.
Yeah.
But Linda, so it turns out Linda is actually Chris from last season. Chris, the shirtless demon.
Who's like always on his way to the gym.
Who's always on his way to the, obviously.
Did you guys expect that punch though? That took me by surprise.
To me, that was this season's punting the dog into the sun. Like just the moment
Yes.
where you're like, oh.
Definitely.
I was not expecting the punch. Did you guys have any idea that Linda was actually a demon in disguise? Because I had no clue.
I kind of felt that something weird was going to happen, but I didn't think that she was going to be a demon. I thought like maybe she would have had like some secret reveal, like maybe she was like a nudist or something, like something crazy, totally off the wall. But I did not think she was going to be a demon. So when it happened, I was like, oh, I did a good job. I figured
You
something
were half
out.
right.
Yeah,
Because
half
Chris
right.
is always half naked.
Yes,
So.
I don't mind looking at Chris. He's great.
Yeah, none of us are too angry at that demon. That's the one demon that we're all like, you can go to
Okay,
the gym.
yeah.
It's all right. We're fine with this. But what did you think about the baby elephant made of pure light that told all of the universe's secrets?
That was the cutest thing ever. How did they come up with that? I'm just trying to imagine them in the writer's room, like, and let's have this elephant that's made of pure. I mean, I have no idea. It was amazing.
I imagine that it's like the VFX guy tests out the VFX on his kids, and maybe he was.
Yes.
They're like, okay, the next season we're gonna like just make whatever you want. What would you want to make? And like one of his little girls is like a baby elephant made of light that tells you the truth of the universe, and he's like, all right.
Stonehenge was a sex thing.
So great.
So good. It's so weird. But also talking about weird, we have Brent Norwalk, who, man, he's just the worst. He's just the worst man who's ever existed. He's just sexist, racist, not a racist because his dentist was a black woman. Let's get it clear. I mean, he really is the epitome of all of the residents, though, between Linda and pre-demon Linda, Brent, John, who we know was sent to basically just mess with Tahani. We saw him last season with
The gossip.
all of the gossip.
Yeah.
And then Simone. Which of the four would you least want to spend eternity with?
Oh my gosh, it's Brent.
Brent, 100%.
Brent.
Brent. Yeah.
No,
He was the
I would
worst.
fight him. Like I wanted to fight him already. I don't do well with those types.
Yeah, I was literally shutting down. Like every time we talked, I was like, wait, no, I have to listen to this. And I was like, no, I don't want to listen to you.
I feel like he's also the one that is going to be the most difficult to get the success from, you know, to actually become a better person. But at the same time, I almost wonder if he'll be easier than anticipated because the bar is so low.
But
You know?
he's the Eleanor of the season.
He kind of is, but he's so much worse because Eleanor at least kind of had like she was coming from like a hurt place, and she just kind of had a guard up. Brent is
Okay,
just
yeah.
a d-bag, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just like, just shut up, Brent.
Yeah.
He
And
could
of
have a
course your name is
backstory.
Brent.
Yeah, I know, Brent.
and is he there to break Janet?
Yeah, like what is, because they were going through like who could this be? Like is Brent there because we know John is there to mess with Tahani. And we know we think Brent is basically there to mess with Eleanor,
Has
but
to be.
he's kind of just messing with everybody. I mean, everybody's losing it at this point. I mean, even when Janet hates Brent too because he's just constantly asking for things. And when he's like, oh, a secretary, and she's like, not a secretary, because it's like her, you know, not a
Right.
girl, not people, not thing. He's like, whatever, just trying to be PC. What are we talking about? VP of helping Captain Marvel? That's when I lost it, because I was like, okay, if you could not be like more on the nose of this is the incel dude, the type of guy who would rabble anti-Brie Larson. Like, I mean, just these subtle jabs that the writers get in are so
Yeah.
good. What do you think Brent's yogurt flavor would be if he could order any yogurt flavor?
That's a good question. Oh, I don't know.
Sour cream.
Sour cream, yes! Just something awful that you're
Yeah.
like, why?
No
man?
thanks.
Why?
Like
What's
you need it
wrong
for
with
some
you?
things, but it's not something you choose. You know? It's like a
Basically.
dollop.
Like a dollop.
Can handle you in dollops.
Yeah,
we know that Linda's would just be plain.
Clearly.
But we have, too, this kind of breakdown that Eleanor has of the 4 residents to kind of make them easier to place. So she's got her quizzical emoji side and her party guy emoji side, which is also how I'm going to make all decisions from this point forward and break up all lists into just those 2 factions.
Yeah, you guys don't know, like off screen, she's got this whiteboard that's got the stickers of emojis. It's telling us we're just breaking it down.
Anytime I look over here, I'm looking at my emoji sticker breakdown that is letting me know what to say next.
It's a good system.
I like it. I like it. It's a solid system. It works. But we have this whole thing going back and forth of where are they going to end up, and we basically we don't know anything. They're all on this side. They're all just like quizzical. And to throw a wrench even further into the system, Derek will not stay at Mindy's house. He just keeps popping in out of nowhere.
Because he made all the butts.
Because clearly that ex that always slides into your DMs and you're like, we're over, and then they keep trying. That's Derek. He's gotta go.
Derek is the decision that we have all made that we kind of regret, where it's like, I don't want to be your mommy girlfriend, Derek. Like, you need get away from me, Derek. Take your martini full of peanuts and go elsewhere. But yeah, I do love that they have the whole breakdown where he's like, I had to come look at all the people that we made together, babe. And Jason is like, no, she made them. You just probably made the butts.
I loved how he used his name as a verb. So he's like, you don't have the Dereks to, or I've been Dereked. I loved that. That was funny.
I feel like that's going to be how we just reference everything. Is we're like, this was a Dereking good episode, if you ask me. Like, just flat out. But what do you think of this kind of love triangle that has been set up with Derek versus Jason, and then poor Janet in the center just trying to keep everything together, because if she's distracted for 1/1000th of a second, everything will collapse in itself like a dying star. And these 2 boys are just like, we're gonna fight about butts. Where are you guys feeling right now in the love triangle between the 3?
Well, I think that it's kind of gotten a little complicated because you have the love triangle with Janet, you have all her babies, the Janet babies now, and, you know, you can see her kind of losing her temper a little bit, which was out of character. So it's interesting to see how this love triangle is kind of affecting her and her personality, which she's a robot thing, so personality, it's interesting. I don't know.
Not a robot.
Not a robot. Yeah, not a robot.
Not a girl, not a robot.
She's a Janet.
I did have one question for you guys, though, because this is something that I was wondering. Jason gets so frustrated that he just pushes the plunger, kills Derek, which Mindy is like, I do it all the time. Like, he was breathing too loud once, and he doesn't even breathe. I don't even know what I was hearing, but it's just fun to kill Derek, right?
That's a great Mindy impression.
I just like cocaine and, you know, doing some good occasionally. Please tell me that you brought the cocaine. But we have, this scene where Derek is killed. We know from previous seasons the reason that Janet is so advanced is because she has been plundered so many times. She's been killed and reborn over 800 times. And every time that Janet is killed and reborn, they get more emotional awareness, which we now see is like she's losing her temper. She's become a lot more human. Is the same true for Derek? Is Derek evolving every time we hit his plunger? Does he become a more Derek to Derek?
I think so. Like, that's where he started wearing the tuxedo. So, like, he was reset so many times because he wasn't like that at the beginning. And then he's, like, more sophisticated. He's carrying around weird stuff in martini glasses. But I suspect that this next Derek we're going to see is going to be harder for Jason to deal with.
Do you think Jason just Dereked himself?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was like, I wonder what is happening.
Because it's an established device.
It is, yeah. And they are very, very good at making sure that everything is all cohesive and that nothing really, you know, like they don't really ever kind of retcon anything. Even with like Chidi speaking multiple languages, like they go through all of that too. Which kind of brings us now to another triangle, which is the fact that Simone has been brought in as one of the test subjects, and because she was a neuroscientist, she's just kind of come up with her own scientific rationale. So we see the recreated moment of the video, and this is the time that we watch these subtle nuances to see how they react. Simone's just shaking somebody's head. Like, she's just like, hey, I'm leaking prefrontal cortex fluid. I'm just like cerebral. I'm clearly, my brain's dying, and I've just created all this nutty things for myself. So I'm going to wear whatever I want and do whatever I want. And yeah. So she is back to the side. What did you guys think about this? And was this something that you were anticipating to have as Simone's reaction to this new environment, or was this as out of left field for you guys as it was for me?
Well, Simone is like so smart, so I knew that there was going to be some kind of twist. It wasn't just for her to be there to mess with Chidi. There was more to it, and like, because she's so smart, yes, of course she's gonna try to like lucid dream and like mess with this place because she's like still studying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It came out of left field for me. I did not anticipate that. I mean, I really did think it was more about the love triangle than it was about her questioning everything around her and not believing where she was. So, I don't know. It's interesting for her to be throwing, what was it, cake towers and people into the pool.
Which is another, like, reference to Eleanor, like, season 1 with the cake. Like, she's like, she's already getting her cake destroying out of the way. Like, that's good. It took me a while to get to the cake destroying.
It's just a phase we have to go through, basically. That's what she was saying.
I think it's kind of interesting on that point, too, because I think both of us had the same mentality of where normally when we have a female who's brought in to this environment, we've seen that it's just to create that love triangle. It's an impetus that she's being used as a device for the male character to react to. But what makes this show so unique is they're like, no, we're going to circumvent any of those tropes. We're going to have a character that is a female character that is so in touch with herself and so in tune that this guy isn't even really registering. Even when she sees him, she's like, oh, your name sounds familiar. You taught at the same place I did. My brain's just leaking out crazy stuff. What up, cute guy that I'm making up in my crazy head thoughts? Bye. Like,
I'm gonna go eat a knife.
Yeah.
Like, it's so wonderful.
Knife. No.
Yeah. That knife? Oh my gosh, girl, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Too much. Don't eat the time knife. Yeah, I feel like this show is so good about really breaking up these tropes and really circumventing all of these things. So I'm interested to see where the whole thing goes with Simone at this point. I don't even know.
I feel like she might be there to mess with Eleanor because Eleanor is anticipating so much like hurt from her being there that she probably sees pieces of herself in Simone, and so now she's kind of freaked out, like with the cake thing, and then she's like, okay, like, she doesn't believe this place is real. I didn't really believe it at first. Like, this whole, like, she's probably seeing herself in her, and then, you know, Chidi liked both of them, so then you have to realize,
seeing
like,
your ex
there's qualities.
Yeah.
So it's just...
And they're kind of switching roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like a setup where she's like, okay, don't recreate all of the exact scenario that made Chidi fall in love with me because I'm still in love with him and he doesn't remember this. And if you recreate all of these things exactly, but with Simone in my spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, anxiety to the max.
Yeah,
Hello.
just internal screaming for forever. Like I have any time that I have any sort of relationship issues. So it's like, I feel you, Eleanor. I'm there. I'm with you. I'm just like bad place Janet. Just like I'm setting up the trash cans just to hit them. Like it's like, come on.
Yeah.
This was kind of interesting to me, though, that it ends with this reveal that we have. And also, before we leave it, I just have to say shout out to Mindy for staying in the attic for a year. I didn't realize that she was going to move into the attic for an entire year. It's like, okay, this is why you're in the middle place, not the bad place. I'll give you that, Mindy. I would have been like, you're in my house. You can stay in the attic.
Well, what was her other option? Go to the bad place?
Really? Yeah, I guess. But having this end with Janet coming from the bad place to retrieve Chris and take him back, and then now finding out that Chidi is going to be the fourth subject. Normally we have where the episode will end, though, with some sort of twist. I thought when they were putting Chris onto the train that she was going to drive off with Michael or with Janet, or there was going to be some sort of added element because they're like, you can't trick us this time. I thought there was going to be a second trick. I thought it was going to be a setup, and then we just get the to be continued.
Which we've not had before.
We've never seen that. So
because of course it's all to be continued because we still have a whole season.
Continued.
There's something.
Yeah. So what did you guys think? Like, what do you think it is? There has to be some sort of something, right? Like, from everything the show has shown us, there has to be some sort of little added element going into the end here.
I think that this show is really good at surprising you. Just when you least expect it, boom, there it is. So, I almost think they expected us to expect something, and maybe they're just waiting to throw it in there when we least expect it. That's just my thought. Oh.
That's true. I mean, that's what's so annoying with the show is they really are like expect the unexpected. And you're like,
I'm ready.
But I did love that whole Sean getting torn down and not being able to mess with them anymore and
the sassy judge. Anytime I see Maya Rudolph, I get super excited.
She's the best.
And even like her butt reference when she's like, "We erased Chidi's memory, but you can't erase that booty." Am I right? It's like
she loves Chidi.
Yeah. Everyone does that. I'm like, I mean, I feel ya.
Straight hottie.
He is. Especially, I mean, we saw last season too. I was like, I still don't understand. I mean, I get why William Jackson Harper is just hot in life, but like, why is Chidi so ripped? I don't know. Whatever.
Where did he get the time to make a decision what exercises to do to get abs? Right? Because he had to choose that. He would have been like, is it the crunches?
No.
Is it this? Is it no? It's genetics.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. I'm like,
blessed.
I get books are heavy, but they're not that heavy, man. Like,
I mean, you see how big those books are, though? I mean, come on.
But he got hurt when he was catching the book.
That's true.
So,
who knows? We have some people in the live chat who want to make a comment about the bad Janet thing. They love that she was back. They love how sassy she was. And we also have some comments about how they thought something really big was going to happen at the end, and then it didn't happen. So kind of
give us some names.
Billie Jean. Okay, Billie Jean girl, I am talking to you.
Yeah.
You said that something big was going to happen in the end. We want to know what you thought. She definitely does not think Chidi is not ugly, so we're with you. Him in the mailman uniform.
Woo!
Yes,
he's surprisingly super hot. You Google Will, he's really hot.
Yeah.
But then Chidi shouldn't be hot when you really think about it.
I know. Chidi is like one of those people that you're like, get out of here. You're too perfect. You're too flawless. I don't know. I will say though, having met William Jackson Harper in real life too, though, I'm like, he's pretty dadgum flawless. Like, I'm like, just him speaking, I'm like, just talk forever. Anything you say is amazing.
Never stop.
But yeah, so any kind of last thoughts on the episode before we dive into our special segment talking about some of the fun references?
I thought it was a strong return. I really like it. We saw Derek, we saw Bad Janet, we got reference to a different, a Disco Janet.
Disco Janet!
Yeah, the world opened up more. We saw all of our favorite characters, and I've always loved with this show that if you haven't watched it before, I could get a friend to watch this episode with me and be like, you'll kind of get it. You should go back and watch the rest, but this is what we're doing. You're still going to enjoy this ride.
Yeah. I loved it. I think it was a great way to come full circle because now they're on the other side of it and we're back in the neighborhood, whereas before we weren't. So I love it. We're just coming right back, and
full
it's exciting
circle,
to see.
full Jeremy Bearimy.
Yeah, I'm super stoked that it's back. I'm excited. That was a really good episode. I like how you put that, Marielou. It was a good episode. If no one's ever saw it, they could watch it and definitely connect to it and see if they actually like this show or not if they've never seen it. My heart right now is with Jason because he had all the feels and we didn't really get to tap in on that. But, I'm glad that they gave him another dimension to his character instead of being this stupid guy. So that was exciting in this episode.
Yeah, because he was the one who had the good suggestion too, and they were like, "Who should we bring in to help out?" And she's like, "If you say Blake Bortles again, it will not end well for you, Jason." And he's the one who was like, "Yeah, Chidi."
Yeah,
man,
he's
I love
growing.
me some
He's
Jason.
growing.
Jason's actually can be smart sometimes. They've shown it one or two times where he's surprisingly smart. So
yeah. Well, speaking of being incredibly smart and very clever, the production designers, the production designers on this show are absolutely brilliant. We love that from the very beginning they've been hiding all of these things in the production design, all of these fun puns and things. So I believe we've actually found some fun little references, right?
Yes, we have. So some of the new storefront signs in the neighborhood that we did not see before. One was lasagna come out tomorrow. I love that. That's so smart. And the other one was Knish from a rose. They're great.
I like that.
Did you guys notice anything else?
Just the regular ones that we've seen before, like all of the different yogurt shops. A fun fact, when I interviewed the cast, I asked them if they could pick any yogurt flavor, what yogurt flavor would they pick? And Kristen Bell said a full day's nap. So I was like, okay, props to you guys. I think I would pick the same. Yeah. But there was also some fun little references throughout, too.
One of my favorite things is Tahani's name drops. I just love Tahani's name drops because it's such a clear character. I love this show because all the characters are so clear, and that's something they had with her. So I caught 4: Robert Downey Jr., Sir Patrick Stewart, Nelson Mandela, and Peter Skarsgård.
I love it. Yeah. Nothing more boring than splitting a Xanax with Peter Skarsgård.
Oh my god.
We wish she could have talked Robert Downey Jr. out of that goatee.
Wish.
Even though I do wish I would have seen Michael with a goatee. I would have been into that. And
Did he have it when he had his midlife crisis?
A little bit.
But she talked him out.
Yeah.
It's just you're not keeping
the
that.
midlife crisis. I love it.
And then the other 2 were her golf partners.
Her racquetball.
Oh yeah, racquetball.
Nelson Mandela. She's ridiculous. I love everything about really the whole show. Just I was about to say Tahani, and then I was like, but everybody really, all of it's so good. So if you guys catch any fun little references or any fun background scenic design, that is kind of cool, let us know. We love to hear from you guys. And we also had a little bit of news as well.
Yes.
TV news.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, it's so epic. So of course, with this being the first episode of the final season, the cast is on social media. They're all promoting it, and there was 3 that I really, really enjoyed. This first one we have is Ted Danson, and he was talking about the pondering emoji and how it was made for him. It was created for him. And then they had I don't know if it was exactly that emoji that they used in the whiteboard in the show, in the episode. Was it the pondering emoji?
Yeah.
So it was a reference to that. He was telling us ahead of time.
Because he is the pondering emoji.
Yes, he is the pondering emoji.
I love that because that really is his go-to face.
Yes. And then we have our other social media post from... this is from Kristen Bell, but it was reposted from Darcy, and it was just a really sweet message that they had. Let me read it to you guys here. I don't have the words to describe what this show means to me. Can't even try. Season 4 premieres tonight at 9/8 Central NBC. It's a good one. The last one. Hearts, 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 hearts. Reposted from Darcy Carden. I'm so excited for them. And then there was one quote that we had from the show creator, Michael Schur. He had an interview with the LA Times. Oh, also I had pulled up a post from William Jackson Harper of his little baby puppy boy saying the puppy said to come and watch the show. So yes, of course, obviously. And then the Good Place account commented, they're like, yes, we will do anything he says.
Yeah, way to emotionally manipulate me with a gorgeous, cheating, adorable puppy. Get out of here,
just
Good
too
Place.
too much cuteness. So Michael Schur, in an LA Times interview that got posted today, he was talking about finales in shows, and there was so much pressure for finales over the course of TV history. And with this show, he can't end it with something that's who knows what happens next. You can't just do that because they've been on a specific journey. Mm-hmm. It has to end in some way. So he said, what things were done in previous seasons that seemed meaningful, even if at the time they weren't intended to be meaningful? Which of those can we bring back? Which of those can have a sort of impact on the end game? So keep that in mind as we go through this final season, that everything is up for grabs.
I love it. So before we wrap, do we want to give some quick predictions of what this could ultimately
TV
mean?
Predictions.
Ooh.
What do you guys think?
I think the next step is they're going to find... The next episode, I will say, will be something more about developing Chidi. I think they're going to focus the next episode on Chidi.
If this was a girl from Arizona, then this is going to be Chidi Anagonye.
Yeah, and his books.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do an episode per character then for the 4 characters?
Oh, that's a good one. I would believe that. I would see that just because, you know, it's the end, so kind of give everyone their own little attention.
Yeah.
But they also like to do things really quickly on this show.
Yeah.
They just move things along.
So what do
really
you think
fast.
is going to happen?
Oh, it's tough because, you know, this is the end and I'm not really sure. I definitely think that they're going to focus on Chidi, but maybe not for the full episode. Maybe just a little part, like half of it, and start to move things along. And I don't think they're going to be in this neighborhood, in this situation, the whole season. I think it'll just be for a couple episodes. So we'll see.
Okay. I've started to kind of sketch out who I think the bracket is of who is versus who. So this girl from Arizona, I think it's Eleanor versus Simone, because she's seeing herself in Simone, even though we thought it was for Chidi. I think it's Jason versus Derek, Janet versus Brent. We know who Tahani's adversary is, but that might switch up a little bit. Michael, Demon versus Demon. You know, I feel like they're going at odds, but I think it's Chidi versus Chidi, because I think he's going to get split between the two loves of his life.
That's so smart.
And the ultimate decision and being torn.
Because he can't
Because
choose.
he can't make decisions.
And then he's going to have to
it's
make
brilliant.
a decision, and that's how it's going to
Brilliant.
You think he'll actually make a decision?
Yes.
I think he will. And I hope that you guys make the decision to tune in next week and see all of us again talking about The Good Place. But until then, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at story_of_Samantha.
And you can find me at I Am Bali Girl.
Nice. So you can find me all over the internet at Marielou Mandl.
And you can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan and on Instagram at Alana J. Jordan. And you can find me every week interviewing your favorite celebrities on MEA Worldwide. That's MEAWW.com. And we'll see you guys next week back here for the Good Place After Show.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.